This video is not intended for persons under the age of 13. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy. And if you do, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you stay up to date on further content. Jules Andrew, and welcome to Shadowstar. Don't mind my slight cover up. We've got to be cautious when we talk about this ship today. Welcome aboard the USS Shadowstar. I'm Captain Ri'shad, aka the Renegade, and this, well, is a Starship review video where we will be taking a look at the stats, specifically of one hell of a beautiful ship, and a mighty one at that. I appear to be accompanied by Anubis at the moment. Gotta say, he needs a size comparison, so he's more than welcome to be here. Now, I have to say one little thing though. The ship we're going to be taking a look at, well, I guess Anubis is kind of hinting towards what it might be. But hey, there's been a new one added to Star Trek Online. So, whether you are KDF, Federation, Romulan, or Dominion, I hope you're comfortable. And allow me to introduce to you the newest Juggernaut, the Borg Command Juggernaut. And look at this beauty. Hey, for those that don't know, this was the ship that we saw in Star Trek Next Generation. Ironic with the timing and the Star Trek Picard series, this ship was being commanded by a group of Borg that had, well, Borg independents that had joined and started following a specific android, otherwise known as Law. They also came about as the result of Hugh. So this is quite interesting action, and like I stated with Anubis just now, he's right next to us in his Juggernaut, and holy mighty, you get an ostensive feeling of the difference in size between that magnificent, truly magnificent Vaudois Miracle Worker Juggernaut and this Borg Command Juggernaut. Which one is better? Well, that's down to you to decide, but we gotta get on with these stats and they are very interesting. Suffice to say, this ship is dangerous. It's Borg, of course it's dangerous. Now, the first things I want to bring up with you guys is the distinctiveness in the fact that as a Juggernaut, we are not looking at a heavy turn rate, nor are we looking at a weak, vulnerable state. This ship is dangerous in the sense of it can take an insane level of a pounding. At, well, level 50, you have 46,575 hull, and once you get up to level 65, that increases to 60,750 hull. She is a beast on defensive parameters alone, just from the hull. Her shield modifier is an exceptional 1.47. Considering her hull modifier is 1.35, this means she really does know how to take the punishment. She might be blocky, she might not be the most beautiful in design, but sure as hell might. You don't want her to collide with your ship. Guarantee, even if you're in a Galaxy class Dreadnought, you're the one that's gonna come off worse. Oh my word. She's a mighty beast, and she has the Borg logo emblem there just finely imprinted, so I do quite like it. Turn rate of 5, well, this is going to be her weak spot, especially with her own armaments. But if you know what to do, and please guys, she has got the ability to do it, you can get that 5 up to at least a 10 with very little lost in any other manner. So, do not be afraid to use her if you are the type that needs maneuverability. Her inertia rating is a stunning 60, screaming great to people like me who love to be able to drift around the opponent. And an impulse modifier is her weak spot at 0.15. Yeah, she's a little slow to get going, but perhaps that's a good thing. You don't want this beast getting in the battle too quickly. It'll be over before it started. Hold on. Here I am stating that she hasn't got the maneuverability. You know what you'd expect from your DPS beasts. So why am I saying she can end the fight before it started? Well, that comes down to two main factors. First of all, her weapons array is 5 forward, 3 aft, meaning this beast of a ship will hit hard in her forward arc. Yeah, she can't maneuver quickly to keep people in the forward arc. Who says this ship is moving quick enough that it needs to be out of turn quickly? Best hope you're an escort, because if you're slow in movement in any way, you're in trouble against this ship. She doesn't need to be quick, because she does not need to be dodging. She then backs up her firepower though with her consoles. 5 tactical consoles. 4 engineering and 2 science. She is a beast in battle and will be very dangerous considering her bonus power settings then supplement her defense and offensive abilities even further with a +10 to both weapons and shields. Damn, Borg Juggernaut, I do not want to see you on the battlefield. Hell, if you use the anchor trait, this thing isn't going down at all. I just can think of a few traits and this ship's not going down at all. Safe to say, we're looking at a beast. But she gets better, guys. I hope you're really active for this bit. Her bridge officer positions is a commander tactical command. I wish battle cruisers had that. A lieutenant commander engineering. A, get this, universal lieutenant commander position. Even more powerfully so, and it's a miracle worker. Lieutenant tactical miracle worker position. And I don't even care about this one. A universal ensign. What? She has power. My word, I've been joking about how our new Kittimer was a beast, but this one is so much more. Suffice to say, right now, we have a ship that does it all. And she is a great command ship. She gets even better, though, and this is where I'm getting really happy with her. If you think that you're really gaining just from the simple parameters of her standard setup, the fact she can take a load of punishment and she can deal it out, well, if you've earned the Kittimer, this ship just got even better for 2 reasons. The constant trait of the Kittimer complement this ship, but this ship's traits and consoles are magnificent. There are 2 things that I have to say straight away before you even look at them. And that is, like I just stated, you got a Kittimer trait and console, you're going to want to sort of use that in combination with this ship. The main reason for this? Well, let's start off with my favourite bit, the absolute best part of this ship. The enhanced nanite regeneration. Every player is using some kind of healing ability on their ships. A lot of you aren't using many. But for the love of mercy, you need to use some form. This trait works with literally whatever you're using. Admittedly, it's stuck to captain or bridge officer abilities, so that will be its Achilles heel. But there are a lot of healing abilities. Regenerative integrity field. You have your miracle worker abilities that heal. Emergency powers of shields. Science team. Anything like that heals your ship. This is going to be absolutely brilliant for any player. Which is probably why I like it so much. Then this console is brutal. Plasma weapons have always been one of my favourites, mostly for their secondary damage, that overtime burn. For those that don't know me, I'm a big fan of agony phases because, again, they have an overtime burn. But this console, giving you a plus 17.1 to plasma damage and a plus 17.1 to hull regeneration, which, by the way, people, oh, that's mean. Have I got it here? There we go. Aligned anti-proton shielding is what you get from the Kittimer. That one gives you the shield capacity. So what you've literally got there is a combination of the two, hull regeneration and shield capacity. Why I'm saying you combine them together, but even more so, destructive topological matrix is going to give you one hell of a brilliant active ability. PBAOE, subsystem disable, and plasma damage and damage over time, doing direct 1110.8 plasma damage with 100% shield penetration. That is a lot of damage directed straight onto the shields, and if you are a plasma type build, you can boost that damage up brilliantly. It is affected by plasma consoles, and you can make this ship so much stronger as a result. It can disable one subsystem, which is, if you haven't fully aware, is your typical phaser spec ability, and well, basically it's an agony phaser for you when you don't have agony phasers. It also inflicts viral disruption for 15 seconds. This deals 3,333 plasma damage over the duration. Each second the target is below 30% health, there is a 30% chance of disabling all subsystems. In essence, this disruptive technological matrix is damaging on ships with a good amount of their hull or strength left. But if you use this on a ship that's nearly down, you'll probably completely end the ship. You could literally strike it and wander off and let it destroy itself, because it's not coming after you anymore, it's probably been disabled. A 1 in 3 chance of getting the disable, or just over 1 in 3 chance of getting disabling that ship. That's a good console. Damn it, this ship is going to be one hell of a beast in battle. But you know what's got me more? Server, if you stop responding, I am going to be so disappointed with you right now. What's got me more with this ship is the assimilated plasma beams. Now, we've all been getting these, and Lord, I will place probably a better one on there. Let's see if I've got... You know what? Cut myself a little bit. This is probably the best way to show it up. And I'm so glad the server started responding. So... oh, look, it's gone again. So, the big thing that I really want to point out on this ship is the fact that you naturally get the lockbox weapons. Now, yes, if you've got this ship, you've probably been opening the lockbox, and in which case, you've already got a load of the lockbox weapons, hopefully. Lord knows you can see how many I got. But, let's say you don't get the lockbox weapon, okay? This ship comes standardly equipped with the standard issue assimilated plasma beam array. Gives you something to start off with. This has a higher than average plasma damage similar to the chronometric plasmas, dealing 481.7 plasma damage with a decent DPS if you look at that, 385. This is about 10% over that of a standard plasma weapon, so it is got a good punch behind it. There is also a 2.5% chance to restore 71.3 points of your hull each second and improve damage by 2.5% for 30 seconds. This really does add up as well. You can stack that up to 4 times, which will equivalent to 4 times that hull healing. And from what I've tested with these weapons so far, not using these specific ones on this ship because I've only just got the Liberated Borg Juggernaut, but from the ones I have down there and tested, that proc of 2.5% might be lying a little bit, because I've had a bit of fighting with this ship, and almost every time I got into combat, it took me less than 10 to 15 seconds to find myself at least 2 stacks, and most of the time I actually got myself up to 4 stacks within a prolonged fight and maintained the 4 stacks. So this ship with these weapons will definitely be able to get a good amount of hull healing coming in. Safe to say, I like these weapons. They're very effective. Damn. You know what we've got to do, don't you? We've got to take... Hello, he's moved up a bit. We've got to take this ship into action. Take this ship into battle. So I'm going to have to build this ship now, and then we're going to go for it. And you had better believe me when I say this. We're going to see some fun from this ship. I will be using my variated build, so it won't be using its plasma weaponry and won't be taking advantage of the console's plasmas. But with that being said, I do feel like we'll get a good idea of the damage output of this ship, and should get a rough idea of how much you can take as well. So with this being said, support DPS time. Let's take this ship in the battle. But before I state that, because I have forgotten again, I keep forgetting this, Admiralty stats are Engineering 43, Tactical 66 and Science 17. Oh, come on. Who needs science when you can literally ram and explode? Giggity. Let's do this. Okay, before I forget, since we are about to warp into battle, this is going to be a plasma build, which is not one of my best. And yeah, I've added a bit of the Borg skin to it, but I do want to quickly flash up to you guys something I forgot to mention, and that's that this ship comes with a special weapon. It's mounted to the ship, so it can't be transferred to anything else, but it is powerful. So we've got the plasma disintegrator. Oh, named like a villainous weapon. Use the disintegrator, but unless they give me $1 million. Ha! Well, it's got your typical lance arc of 45 degrees, and it, well, launches plasma disintegrator to the foe. The plasma disintegrator passes by, or anyone it passes by will take 5,744.6 plasma damage. To the foe it hits. To detonate, it will deliver 35,132 plasma damage. This can be buffed with the extensively powerful plasma boosting consoles that you can get, or any other means of boosting such damage. The big thing to state though is the fact that this is essentially the best lance in the game. We've had plasma lances, we've had disruptor lances, phaser lances, phaser locus, disruptor locus. They're powerful, but this is definitely the strongest I have seen, at least. There might be one stronger than it. I can think of a few that could have the potential, but because I've not used them myself, I can't tell you if they are. Let's take it in the battle and find out. Go. Well, you know how this generally goes, guys. We take the ship in the battle and we see what it can do. Are you all comfortable? Klingons, I bet you're going to have a real fun time with this. This is probably not the best weapon setup, but these are the only plasma weapons I effectively have that are good for testing with. We are using standard plasmas, so we have the burn over time. This ship probably functions best with broadside builds, beam builds, and cannon builds, rather than using dual cannons and dual beams. However, get ready to see how this ship can be a scary piece of dash. Let's go ham, shall we? Well, that really didn't take too long to whack those ones out. And that actually looks far more terrifying than I've realised it was going to look. Basic build and it does that much damage? What the hell? My forward shield's barely down. I haven't really augmented the ship either to be better at combat. So, well, better in defense. So that right there is saying something. The only thing I'm doing that's boosting this ship's defensive wise is using the Kobali full 4-piece set. This gives me a practically strong heal, great shields for resist all, and well, just general combat ability. Let's have some fun first though. Here's the lance. See what that does. Well, note to self, shields can negate it big time. We'll have to test that again against shields that are down, won't we? Now, come on. Against tougher foes, she stands a bit of a fight. I am actually using the kinetic, well, the Borg console that comes from the lockbox as well with this ship. Basically because it does supplement the ship a little bit in defensive wise. Let's actually make use of that and see how well we do, shall we? Weaponized Borg generator. Look at the damage that deals with it. Just doing a nice slicing action, tearing it down, and the ship. Look at my hole. The only issue is you can't tell how much damage you took. It doesn't really want to show the damage on the skin. So if you're just going on visual, you're in a little bit of trouble. Mind you, I feel like it's partially hidden behind my simulation set. Oh, there we go. Regenerates really quickly though. Look at that. That's probably one of the fastest hull regenerations I've had. Keldon, you're in so much trouble up there. We are going to go mean on the Keldon. First of all, we're taking advantage of this weapon. Though really this weapon wants to be used against multiple targets, doesn't it? The plasma wants to be used against multiple targets as well. See what it does as it passes by them. But it will. We know it's heavily damaged by the shield, so that is its one. This isn't though. I used it too early. I just realised that. Here we go, another disintegrator blast. We want to get that shield out. It does do quite effective damage, but my actual main weapons deal out more. Having said that, that has been generally the course of things with lances in most recent periods. So, I guess as great as the lance is, I'm not overly surprised. I could be completely balmy if I wanted to. Whoops, we are going to get the devil out of here a second. Don't fancy letting myself get destroyed just yet. Bring in a few friends. Come on, regenerate the ship. That'll be target 3. I'm sure there's another big target I can go up against in a second. Let's amp up this ship's actual combat potential. We're now going to go into support DPS battery settings, which essentially means slightly higher weapon rate, and you bring down shield to balance with auxiliary, and that's essentially what you do. Whoa, okay. Jem'Hadar attack ships want to play with me, do they? You little cruds. No one invited you. You worm. Oh, we're going to turn nice and hard on this guy. Right. Let's launch one again. We'll see what we get out of the output from this one. Now that was more like it. That was a good hit. Looks like if the shield is down when it hits, it deals a huge amount of damage. But if it hits shields, it's negated entirely by the shields. Essentially, probably means it's rather important to time that weapon well. Because that definitely did a lot more damage than normal when it actually hit the ship without the shields being in the way. Don't think I quite like that. Let's use that ability again, see what it does. Did alright, I guess. Bit hard to tell past my own normal weapons fire though, but it's a good console, I will give it that. I will give this ship that there is a lot going for it. It is a feisty little console, a feisty little ship. Its big weakness is its lack of maneuverability, but it's quite a tough ship, a tough cookie to take. My build is problematic though. It doesn't really take advantage of the hull endurance of this ship to its finest degree. Uses the shields pretty damn well, but that's just a general weakness of my builds. Okay, let's summarize on this ship. The big breakdown. Now, first of all, I'm going to start off with the trait and console. A bit weird to my normal, but we're going to go with this. The trait is amazing and is getting 9 out of 10 from me straight away just because it's useful for every player. That's assistance in hull regeneration is just a great thing to see and will give you room to use other effective consoles that aren't supporting healing because the trait will be doing it for you. And the trait is very effective. The console itself is great for any plasma user and very effective on hitting multiple targets, so I guess you could call it the battlefield control by DPS, which is going to be quite effective. In that one we'll get a 7 out of 10 from me just because the damage is kind of low from it, but it is still effective. Essentially it's a supplement to damage, and it's actual passive abilities of plasma damage boosting and as well as the hull regeneration. I've actually forgotten what it was. Yep, hull regen. Yeah, it's pretty good. If we take the ship into its class roles though, support, DPS and tank, well, first of all, we'll start off with support. Support for me is probably going to get the... I'm not sure how to classify it because this ship is fundamentally a good support ship, but it does it oddly. So I'm going to give this ship a 7.5 out of 10 for support. The reason I say oddly is because normally support ships will have a good number of science consoles to them. Now this ship is sitting very much as a engineering support class, which is fine because engineering support class is not a problem. This ship does come with a miracle worker position to really supplement and boost up the actual full support capability. The way I see this ship is it will probably be one of the few rally support ships that you see. By that I mean it's a ship where everyone rallies around it while it does one of a few tasks. Maybe supplementing the heal and regeneration of its allies. It could be creating fields for shield protection. Well, I can think of a certain trait ability you can use there which will allow the ship to do that quite well. She may be undergoing the control expertise and taking control of the battlefield, allowing all the ships rallying with her to simply pick a target and focus while she keeps them under wraps. She could be draining, she could be doing all of the above. She will be an effective ship on the battlefield when built right. Now, if we move into where she gets strong, tank is probably her strongest asset, but her tank and her DPS, they're both strong, but both have something weakening the aspect. So we'll start off with DPS. DPS, her 5 tactical consoles are going to be great, but she has only 2 science, weakening a certain range of DPS she can do. She has a brilliant tactical commander bridge officer position, her miracle worker tactical position, and 2 universal positions means that she can get a lot of damage in there if she wants to go really over the top with damage output. She has 5 forward arcing, 3 aft weapons, making her again very effective from a typical DPS mindset. However, this is where she starts to fall short. Because her turn rate is so low, a 5, she has a fundamental weak point, and that is kind of distressing. However, there are 3 types of DPS fighter. You have the most common. These ones take advantage of the exact kind of weapon arrays that you see on tactical ships and on this Juggernaut, and effectively will use their full forward arcing power using dual beams, omnidirectionals, heavy cannons, turrets, kinetic culling beam as in the case of what I was using with this ship, to deal higher amounts of damage via the forward arc. They then also rely on high maneuverability though. Obviously this ship can't do that. Now, of the forward arc types, this is where 2 of the DPS lands. The initial one, the most common one as I was saying, will be using fire at will, torpedo spread, and hitting as many targets as they can. Cannon scatter volley for love. Then you have what support DPSs tend to stick to, like myself, which I call the high impact forward arc. These people are using beam overload and high yield cannon rapid fire to take target on one singular target and destroy that one target as fast as possible, essentially nuking the target, if you mind the way I say it. You then have probably one of the lesser thought about DPS, but they're not actually all that uncommon. These DPSs use beam, fire at will, and torpedo spread in quite high regards, but they may be using high yield and beam overload, cannon rapid fire, but they won't be doing it in a normal manner. They will be doing it with what I refer to as the DPS broadside. These people take advantage of single beams and single cannons to get the absolute maximum output they can. Sometimes you see them using omnis as well, but that's not always the case. These ships tend to be the ones which you will see with their beams going off in every whatnot direction, and suffice to say, that is probably what this ship does the best. If you go with that kind of build on this ship, you'll find her DPS is going to be just as good as she would be focusing on the full forward arc and going at absolute high output as the normal maximum output DPS players tend to use. So in some ways, she is a forward arcing ship, but in truth, despite her weapon layout, she's actually a broadsider. Not very often you say that about a ship like this one. So, yeah, that's probably the bit that's got me caught out the most of her. If I'm completely blunt and honest, that's the thing that's got me a little bit, the most. Doesn't matter though, because that's still going to make me score highly, because she has at least one mana that she's really strong in, and because she has 4 engineering positions, meaning you can boost her maneuverability if you wish. Lord knows you can do it also with her impulse drive. An impulse drive with ×3 turn, you will find that this ship no longer has much issue targeting, and that would turn her into our full powerhouse DPS starship. So yes, I'm now going to go out my way to say I'm going to give her 8.5 out of 10. She would score higher, but you have to have good DPS skill to get the absolute pinnacle of DPS out of her. So, not for the DPS noobs like myself. Finally, we get on to tank. Tank is also an 8.5 out of 10 with me. Could score higher if she wanted to, but this is where her issue lies. So, like I have stated, she has a magnificently high hold strength. She has a magnificently high shield strength. But that means nothing if you can't support those powers as a tank. When you start with a tank, the first thing you set on is, what is the hull cap? What is the shield cap? And you work from there. You then take that and strengthen it. Some of the best ships you can get is, say, the Sutherland class. The Sutherland class science research vessel. That is a powerful shield tank, a very powerful shield tank. And that's because it is slightly weaker shields than this one, having only 1.3, but it has that many science console positions that you could really up its shield endurance and allow it to take a huge amount of damage, which is the problem this ship has. Her strongest aspect is that insane shield modifier. 1.45. It's very strong. She has 1.3 hull. Now, this ship can do what the Sutherland does with shields. So this ship can hull tank really well. It has 4 engineering console positions and an overwhelming range of tactical and engineering bridge officer positions. But it doesn't get to do the same with shields. It has only 2 science console positions and doesn't actually have a designated science bridge officer position. Instead, it would have to make use of the 2 universals and pick one of them 2 to be a science. And if you're going to shield tank, that unfortunately means your Lieutenant Commander Universal is going to be a science position. Which, okay, numbs in an issue there for me. Because that already alleviated the greatness of that universal position. You then have the weak science abilities, which means you're going for more resistance as much resistance as you can, because you have to boost up that science weakness somehow. In essence, she has the potential to be like the Khitomer Alliance ship and be just a stunning hull and shield tank at exactly the same time, but she let herself down where it was critical. This means Yeah, she is a brutal tank, but you have to keep an eye on her. Unfortunately, she will immediately come in as a great shield tank, but every player is going to be acting with about the same level of shield tank from her. I don't like it. I like having the option to increase something, take something that's powerful and turn it into something titanic. As I like to joke, we often have our Titan ships. This is a ship which unfortunately almost had the chance to be the tank Titan, but it let itself down where it was critical. Overall, guys, I'm going to score this ship as an 8 out of 10. Gotta say, I'm giving her an 8 out of 10 because her console and trait is so good. Because she's a flexible ship, she can take most roles. Because she is really good at tank and DPS. Because she is a different thinking for support ship, which is nice to see. And because, well, she comes with very good plasma weaponry. So what do you guys think? Honestly, I think she'd be at her absolute strongest with the radiant anti-proton weaponry that you get from the reputation, Iconian reputation, or if you can make proper use of her own plasmas for regeneration. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, and one thing I will definitely say is any questions you've got, I'll be more than happy to answer. But I've also got to feel that one thing. Which do you prefer? The Borg or the Khitomer? Guys, a massive thank you for watching to the end of this video. The support you have shown me by doing so is greatly appreciated. And also to my very generous patrons and my very generous donators, a huge, massive thank you. The support you give by helping this channel finance itself, helping me achieve this channel to being my dream job, is unbelievably appreciated. Hopefully this channel will reach that stage where it will literally be a no ad, completely supported by the viewers channel, like Mysterious V and Ri'shad, Shadow Stars, both want to be. Guys, if you do want to support this channel on a personal level, then check out the description below where you will find two means of support via donation, but you don't have to. By watching this channel, literally by watching this video, you've already done so much for me. If you want to keep up to date and follow everything that's going on, I know the notifications bell is great, and if you rang it, thank you. But below the donation buttons is our social media in the description. Click on Discord, come along and join the Discord crew. It'll be your chance to get in with a conversation with everyone, have your say on what you think, be it the Final Fantasy or sci-fi channels. You can show off your own screenshots and crew clips, and Lord have mercy, I loved doing my screenshot video I did before, and if you guys give me enough, I'll be doing more. And also, there is the specific tabs that will make sure you never miss a video and you never miss a stream. But seriously guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, resistance is futile. Ciao for now. Let's do this. Helm! Take us out. Hey, it's gone blue. Go.